Hey traders, John Howell here, officialjohnhowell.com. I hope you're doing well. Just a quick update on what I see, what's happening in the market right now. What I do see happening right now when it comes to this, weekly, when it comes to this chart. Right now we're looking at the S&P 500 chart, and we're looking at a daily chart right now. And of course you see, we're still in a big, obviously bullish upward movement. And one thing I do see is by looking at the current price action right now, we've had this big run up through here, this big run down through here, and then a big run up through here. And one thing I want you to realize, is that the market, when it goes through almost a vertical move like this, it's likely to have some sort of a pullback. When it comes to that, okay. If you look at these moves over here, okay. So you look at this one right here. You had a big strong move up, and you had some pullback through here, okay. You had a big strong move up, and then you had a pullback through here. Big strong move up, pullback through here. Big strong move up, sideways, up a little bit, and then sideways. But you can see, right? You can see after we get a big strong move up, that we actually get some sideways action, or we get some pullback action. And if you know, obviously how the markets work is the market stair steps. You know what I mean? Like the market will stair step. The market in an upward trend, the market does that, right? So if the market just goes up and up like this, there's going to come a point in time where the market's going to equalize, and it's going to have to pull back a little bit. You know what I mean? That's just the way the market works. And so, but looking at this overall chart right now, let's go to the weekly chart here and have a look at the weekly chart. But as you can see, the weekly chart's nicely stepping up as well too. If we just zoom this in now a little bit more, we can see that right now, if we have a look at these highs up here, okay. If we have a look at these highs up here, you can see the market's sort of struggling where it is right now, or the market is sort of bouncing off these areas through here of this high on the weekly chart, and it's pushed up and now just gone sideways. So here is what I see on the weekly chart, okay? You can see the market is sort of pausing at this level through here, okay, which is around about the 1980 level, okay? But if you have a look at just a bit down through here as well too, again, this was the exact high up here, okay? Let's just zoom this in a bit more. This is the exact high up here. Now, what's likely to happen is this, okay? Or what's happening here is this. If the market does not break this support level, then we're likely to continue on up, okay? But if the market does keep going sideways, that's actually showing a sign of weakness in the buyers as well. Not just the sellers, but the sign of the weakness in the buyers. By looking at the S&P 500 weekly chart, you can see it broke up above this high, and if it starts to close below this support and resistance line on the weekly chart, then we're likely to see a lot more downside action to come, okay? And that's where we're likely to see, and probably even a pullback down towards this trend line here, okay? But that's just to see what happens there on the weekly chart. Now going back to the daily chart, you can see what happened here, right? We had this big engulfing, we had this sort of not a big engulfing candle, but it definitely closed higher, and you can see this market here has definitely just been sideways. It hasn't been showing any true strength or any true movement in the market, okay? But you can see that the volume in the last sort of week has been pretty much even across the board, and so that tells me that there's a lot of fighting going on within this period through here, okay? Buyers and sellers are fighting it out. Buyers going up, and obviously sellers trying to take it down. So that's what I see there on the overall daily chart. But if I look at the intraday chart, let's go to the hourly chart. You notice something interesting here happening on the hourly chart, and that is this. Look at this here. If we just delete this trend line through here, we can see that we had this sort of trend line going up through here. Okay, so you can see that period through there. Okay, that period through there. Yeah, right through there. Okay, that section through there. What happened is the market bounced off support. It kept bouncing off this level here, right? And then what happened is the market broke past this level through here, came down, and now came back up, and then gave you this lower peak, at this resistance level and now broke back down. Now, if you have a look at this chart as well too, you'd notice that what's starting to happen with the peaks and troughs on the daily chart or on the hourly chart. Well, they were creating higher peaks, higher troughs, right? Higher peaks, higher troughs. But now we created a lower trough. Now we created a lower peak. But now it looks like it might be creating a higher trough here. So who's in control here overall? No one really, because in an uptrend we have higher peaks and higher troughs. In a downtrend we have lower peaks and lower troughs. And in the sideways movement, well, then we have this type of action. You know what I mean? It's just higher peaks, lower peaks, and so on and so forth. So right now we have no real decision on who is in control of this market right now, but we are showing a lot more weakness around this level here than anything else. But that's looking on the hourly chart there. Remember, if we go back to the daily chart here, this daily chart is definitely showing a lot of strength around this level through here of this. You can see this high here, that high there. It's definitely showing a lot of support through this level through here, and now we're actually looking for more of a direction to move. If we start to break up above these highs, then we're likely to continue on up. But looking at this as a sort of a sideways movement through here, okay? If we just do this through here, we look at it as a sideways movement through here, through there. Well, you can see it's sort of like a sideways movement through there, and market's going up and then sideways. Again, we're just waiting for direction, but if it breaks up, then we're likely to continue on up. If it breaks back down, then we're likely to have a nice big pullback. And so that's what I see here looking at the S&P 500 overall, guys. Once again, looking on the weekly chart as well too, we can definitely see that we have a lot of resistance through here, and then a lot of support through here as well too. And that's what I see happening with the S&P 500. Let's just quickly look at the Dow Jones, and we'll have a quick look at that, the Dow Jones. And let's just delete this here. We're looking at the weekly chart here again. Now with the Dow Jones, as you can see on the Dow Jones, right, it's actually struggling to break above that high. It's actually continuing to struggle immensely at this level through here, okay? But this is what I do say here as well too. The market likely, at what I've noticed is at support and resistance levels, the market likely to pause or reverse. And this is what I have found, okay? If we have just called this a support line, right? And the market does what it does here, it runs up and hits this level through here. Well, there's two things that's obviously likely to happen. One, it's likely to break through, or two things that could happen. One, it could break through, or two, it could reverse back down. And so what I found is that the longer it stays sideways movement without getting a nice pullback through here, okay? A nice pullback through here. If we don't get a pullback like we haven't through here, and the longer it goes sideways without getting a decent pullback, the more chance of it actually breaking up. Okay, the more chance of it actually breaking up, because the sellers are not actually having enough, not enough strength. The sellers are trying to bring it down. The buyers are holding it up, and what eventually is likely to happen is breaking through. So by looking on the S&P 500 chart, that's the weekly chart. Oh, sorry, this is the Dow Jones chart. By looking at this chart, you can see that this market is just going sideways, 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 sideways. You can see this bar through here, nice big up bar through there, as you can see, right? And if we just bring that volume back again, so we can see what the volume's like on that day there. You can see this day, nice big bar, a nice big volume there at the area of resistance. But definitely sideways action, but you can see the market ran up and sideways. And the longer it goes sideways, the more chance of it exploding and just taking off to the upside. Now, I'm not sure if the market's waiting for a news announcement or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what they're waiting for. But overall, guys, looking at this overall market here, looking at the S&P 500 chart, and also the Dow Jones chart, it definitely is a sideways pattern there. Looking at the hourly chart as well too, guys, we're sort of getting the same sort of movement as we saw on the the S&P 500 chart as well too. Okay, so overall, guys, that's what I see. And the biggest thing I want you to take from this is the longer it goes sideways, the more chance it has of breaking up in the direction of that movement. If it hasn't had a big pullback like it hasn't here, then the less chance of the more it goes sideways, the less chance of it actually breaking down, and then it has continued up. What you want to see, right, is what you saw back here. Is you want to see a time and a period where the market runs up, and you actually get straight away, right, literally within a week, within a couple of days, you get a pullback, and the market runs up, and then you get a nice decent pullback, and the market runs up, and you get a pullback, right? But what's happening through here is the market's just simply just gone sideways. So the more it goes sideways, the more chance of it actually breaking to the high side, and that's what I see on the Dow Jones chart. I hope you like this, guys. If you would like to see more of my strategies and what I do when it actually comes to trading the market and stuff like that, then click on the link below right now. It's going to take you over to my website where you can find more information about my trading style and my trading strategies. This is John Howell here from officialjohnhowell.com. And remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.